Hey friends, it's Robin. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing my favorite video of every single month. I am filming my May TBR. I have actually already filmed this video once and I realized there was a giant smudge on my camera and it was blurry on like the bottom half. So I am redoing my whole TBR. I only have a couple of things that I am participating in. The Historical Romance Readathon is running from May 9th to the 15th. It is hosted by Jess from Peace Love Books, Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers, and Lisa from Remarkably Lisa. I will link all of them as well as the information for the readathon down below. And then the only other thing I know that I'm participating in this month is the Buzzword Challenge. And for the month of May, the prompt is directions. So north, south, left, right, up, down, all of those. So I do have a book set aside for that. So without further ado, let's just get right into picking the prompts. So if you haven't seen one of these videos before, I have this little jar of prompts and these just help me guide what books I'm going to read for the month. I have a pile of books here set off to the side that I've pulled off of my shelves that I want to read. I also have some ARCs, some KU books, some audiobooks, things like that that I will be picking from. I try to only pick books that I already own in some capacity, but it seems like every month there is an exception to that rule, so we shall see what the jar picks for us this month. So prompt 1, let's go with this guy, and this is to start a new series. That's unfortunate. I actually have a lot of options. So I have Hooked by Emily McIntyre, which is the first book in the Never After series, and this is a dark romance series that is very loosely based on a bunch of fairy tales. This first one is obviously Hook. I also have the Tessa Dare series, Girl Meets Duke. This would fit for the Historical Romance Readathon, and I have not yet read a Tessa Dare. I also have The Never King by Nikki St. Croix, which has been going around everywhere on Instagram and everything like that. I really want to give this one a read. This is another dark romance, and I believe this one is also Peter Pan. And then I also downloaded Soul Eater by Lily Mayne, which is a fantasy monster romance. This is the only thing that would fit for something. Hi. Editing Robin from the future here. I didn't realize until I was editing this video that Past Me was very astute and on top of her game and accidentally picked the same book for 2 different prompts. So instead, for the first book in a series, I'm gonna go with Intoxicating by Emily James. This is the first book in, I don't remember the name of the series, but it is set, I believe, in the same world as her Necessary Evils series, but following totally different characters. This one, I believe, is a bodyguard romance, and it is also MM, so I think one of our heroes is set up to be like the babysitter or bodyguard for a senator's son, and the two of them have a romance. I am all caught up on the Necessary Evil series and I am craving more of Emily James's books, so I'm gonna go back and start reading her backlist. This is instead what I'm gonna read for the start of the series. Prompt number 2, let's go with, oh geez. Let's go with this one. And this is to read a hardcover book. So for a hardcover, I'm gonna go with Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May. This was one of my 22 books to read in 2022 and I never got to it. I also have this really stunning Waterstones edition. It's absolutely beautiful. This is going to be a book that I vlog. I don't know a ton about this. It is a 1920s inspired fantasy. I believe our heroine is going to Crow Island where her father has always lived and he has recently died and she is there to close out his estate. And when she goes to the island, she is reunited with a friend of hers, and along the way she ends up getting involved in magic because on this island magic is real. I believe this has a sapphic romance in it. This has magic and romance and all of the 1920s vibes, and I'm really excited to give this one a read finally. Prompt 3, let's pick. I'm gonna mix them up a little. Let's go with this one. Oh, there's 2 in here. Which one should we go with? Let's go with this one. This is a book that's set in the past. So for this, I'm gonna go with A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. This is Alexis Hall's next historical romance. It says that is a lush, sweeping, queer historical romance. That's all I know about it. Honestly, I will pick up anything that Alexis Hall writes. I absolutely adore their writing. I recently read their first historical, which was Something Fabulous, and I really, really liked that one. So I'm excited to give this one a read. Again, it's going to fit for the Historical Romance Readathon. It is an ARC. It comes out May 24th. So I need to read it this month and I'm really excited to pick it up. Prompt 4, let's pick. They're like all mashed together. Oh, look. Ah. Let's go with this one. This is a book that starts with the letter. So I'm going to grab a random letter generator and I will try to find a book that starts with that letter. All right, so I have my laptop here and we are going to go over to generate random letter and we got the letter D. So I have 3 options for the letter D. I have the Duchess deal. This has now come up twice, so maybe that's a sign. I also have Dating Dr. Dill. This is a contemporary romance that I originally didn't have like on my radar, but it's been getting such good ratings. But the one I think I'm gonna go with is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. And the reason is the sequel to this is coming out really soon and I need to give this one a reread. So this is a YA fantasy. This is the first book in a series. It is a queer fae fantasy, urban fantasy. In this, fae are living in the real world. This is set in Canada and the half fae are suddenly being killed. And these 4 teens come together and they try to solve what is happening to the half fae. It is much more than that, but I really enjoyed this first book. This was probably one of my most surprising books of last year. I ended up giving this 5 stars, and so I'm going to listen to this on audio for the second time so that I am ready for when the sequel releases. Prompt 5 is, let's pick. My books keep falling over. Prompt number 5 is a book off my 22 in 22 series. And that is perfect because I need to get Gallant by V.E. Schwab on this TBR. This is the other book for that series that I'm going to be reading this month. I don't know a ton about this one, but I believe it is a YA contemporary fantasy and we are following a girl who was attending an all-girls boarding school and she returns back to her family's mansion, and this mansion is on the line between life and death. And I believe when she gets there, a lot of creepy, mysterious things start happening and she finds a way to cross over into the death side of the house. That's all I know about it. I have this absolutely stunning edition from Waterstones that I'm obsessed with. So hopefully I love this book because I have this really beautiful cover and I don't want to have to unhaul this. Prompt 6 is, let's go with this one. This is to read a book set in a different country, so a country other than the United States. I might be wrong about this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Love Flushed by Evie Mitchell is set in Australia. Evie Mitchell is Australian, and I believe all of her books are set in Australia, but I can't find anything that says where it is set. So correct me if I'm wrong, but if this is set in Australia, this is what I am going to read. This is a book that I will be vlogging my experience reading. This is an Own Voices contemporary romance about a woman who has Crohn's disease and she starts her own subscription service for toilet paper, and I believe it is a second chance romance with a childhood sweetheart. That is all I know about it. I loved book 1 in this series. I absolutely adore Evie Mitchell. These books have really, really good representation. They are super spoony, they are super steamy, and I'm really excited to give this one a read. Prompt 7 is, let's pick this one. And this is to read a book with a light colored cover. For this one, I am so excited for this book. I'm gonna go with Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This is a really bright, light blue, and when I got sent an e-arc of this, I nearly cried. I am so excited for this book. This is the 3rd adult romance by Emily Henry. This one was pitched as a Hallmark movie if the heroine didn't choose the small town guy, but instead chose the big city hero and nobody changed their ways. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this book. This is possibly my most anticipated book of the year, but I say that about a lot of books. I'll be reading it right away in May because it does come out really soon in May. It's like the 3rd. I actually might start reading this a little ahead of May, but don't tell anyone. Prompt 8 is, they're all stuck. Let's go with this one. This is a duplicate prompt, and so this is also light colored cover. I'm guessing one of these was from a readathon or something, so I'm just gonna put that one off to the side and pick prompt number 8 again. Let's go with this one. This is, oh perfect. to read the Buzzwordathon. Like I said, the Buzzwordathon prompt for this month is directions. So for this, I'm going with All Fired Up by Dylan Newton. And this is the, I don't want to say sequel, but it's a companion book to How Sweet It Is. So we met our heroine in this book in that first book. And in this, she is taking a break from her publishing job. I believe she's a publicist. And she is going back to her grandmother or aunt or something like that's house to help her with some renovations. And the person that is helping with the renovations is actually a guy she had a one-night stand with. Obviously, they catch feelings. And we're really excited for this. I thought How Sweet It Is had one of the cutest meet cutes of all time, and it was really funny and sweet and just, it was fantastic. And I'm really excited for this one. This is the next book on the TBR. I think I'm gonna pick two more. So let's go with this guy. And oh, perfect. This is to reread a book. Luckily, I had one more reread on my TBR, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is one of the few books that I have tabbed, and I am so excited to check for what I wrote in all of these. I have no idea what all these tabs are about. That's a lot of tabs. I have been rereading the Throne of Glass series. This is the last book that I have left, and I'm actually really sad to be finishing this series up, but I've only read this book once. So I'm going to be listening to this on audio, although I will say, I don't know if anyone has these books, but like, the flop makes me want to read this physically. Oh, that is so satisfying. But yeah, so I've been listening to these on audio. I'm really excited to dive back into this one. I'm sure everyone knows what the series is about, so not even gonna go into it. And then the final prompt for this month is, let's go with this one. Oh, that's two. There's two of them in here. So I have a paranormal and a wrecked or hyped. See if I can mix them. A little bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna go with Soul Eater by Lily Mayne. This is a fantasy monster romance, so it's kind of paranormal. This one I actually added because it popped up in like my KU search, and I went to Goodreads and somebody gave it a 1 star and said that all this was them having sex and killing demons. And I was like, well, obviously I need to add this to my TBR now. And so I shared that on Instagram, and Paperbacks and Lattes messaged me that she really liked this book. So I'm counting that as paranormal and recommended. This is going to be the final book on my TBR, and this will fit in for a video. So I'm hoping that vlog will come later this month. So that is it for my May TBR. I actually have a lot of books physically this month, which is really surprising. Although these two are both going to be audiobooks. I just happen to have them physically because they're rereads. And then my two 22 and 22 books. And then one final romance book that I will also be vlogging. I have so many vlogs coming this month or soon-ish. A couple of them that I don't know exactly when they're coming. But I have a lot of vlog content that I want to post sometime soon. So let me know what you are reading this month, and let me know if any of these books are on your TBR, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye!